I would literally go to war for that girl. Helena, get behind me. Hello, happy Bookmas Day 12. Merry Christmas Eve. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Sammy, Sam Marie, Samantha Marie a lot, if you will. Forgive me if my voice is a little off. I think we're getting a little bit sick. Everyone and their mother that I know is sick right now, except for my mother. Too soon? Okay. Anyways, this is our last day of Bookmas, our 12 days of Bookmas. I'm so glad we've made it here. For this, we're just going to do a traditional end of year book tag. I did film this yesterday and I built a Lego set while I was doing it. Audio is a mess. I couldn't stand to watch it while I was editing, so why would I put that out? Every time I rip open a Lego bag, it's just like, it was a hot mess. So we're just gonna refilm this today. No building a fun Lego set. So for this end of year book tag, I did receive all of my questions from the queen herself, Larry reads, Larissa, however you know her, however you find her. We will probably crack open a cold one. First and foremost, best book recommendation you got this year. Now, I don't personally receive a whole lot of book recommendations in my personal life. I receive a whole lot of book recommendations off the internet, okay, off BookTube. A specific recommendation I got this year because of a booktuber that I never would have picked up was The Favorites by Lane Fargo, and I got this recommendation by Sarah Caroli. This is probably a 4.5 stars out of 5 for me. Ice skating, drama, competition, romance. This is super interesting to read because no matter whose perspective you would have gotten this story from, your villains, heroes, all of that would have changed, would have shifted perspective depending on who you received the information from, depending on who you got the story from. Most disappointing book for me this year, Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. This is a very, very popular romance author. The book that I was looking forward to the most to read is Yours Truly, which comes afterwards, and then Just for the Summer is the last book in this interconnected standalone romance series. I'm a girly who, if I'm reading a romance from an interconnected standalone romance series, I'm going to be reading all of them. Our female main character, she comes from a long line of doctors, so she has certain expectations, certain things she needs to get to, certain goals. She has suffered a lot of emotional abuse from both her boyfriend or fiance, I'm not sure which of the two, he might even be a husband, somewhere in there, and then from her father. She ends up running into Daniel, who's our male main character, when she's driving through a random town. She breaks down. He's like, hey, tow truck's not gonna get you. We have one tow truck. He's at the bar right now. Let me help you out of this ditch. I thought the female main character started showing some behaviors that she had been shown from her love interest previously and from her father previously to this male main character. She was pretty rude, disrespectful to him, and I didn't really love what they had going on. So it kind of really turned me off from this world, but I do think it sounds like Yours Truly would make more sense for me and I would like it more. I'm not like one and done. This was just disappointing for me. Underdog book. So for this, I'm thinking books that I haven't heard anybody else reading. I'm thinking I go on Goodreads and there's barely any reviews. That is going to be The Secret Christmas Bookshop by Cressida McLaughlin. I obviously read this month in the month of December, but this is a Christmas romance. It has like less than 2,000 or maybe just about 2,000 Goodreads ratings. I haven't heard anybody talk about it before, but it was so cute, sweet, and fun. We're following Sophie, who she grew up in the foster care system, so she's used to bouncing around, bebopping around. In her adulthood, she's kind of continued that pattern. Now finds herself in this small town where she's starting to build connections, so much so that she ends up helping plan the Christmas festival this year with the town grump, who ends up being our male main character. She's like up in the air debating moving again. Normally that's her thing. That's what she does. She ups and moves. And there's also a secondary plot line where there's a secret Christmas bookshop. She receives a special edition book wrapped for her that kind of steers her into a whole new motion of where she's setting her life and her goals, but she's on the hunt for who sent this. So I really enjoyed this. I think it's an underdog. I think if you're looking for a holiday, you have to know it's going to be Hallmarky. With that, it's a lot of fun, super duper cute. I enjoyed it a lot. Quick sip. Cheers, everybody. Ooh, overhyped book. Okay, I'm gonna kind of take from a series that's gonna be Mile High in the Right Move, the Windy City series by Liz Tomforty. Didn't like this. Did have fun with this. However, they weren't life-altering, changing. I don't feel like I have some sort of like new book boyfriend acquired from reading these books. They just didn't live up to the hype for me. They're sports, romance, interconnected standalone series. I'm obsessed with the covers. I think I'll probably at some point get into the next, like I have caught up. I'm not highly motivated to get get into that series more. There is a sports romance series that I'm more highly motivated to be involved with, which I'm pretty sure I'll mention. Yes, I do. Okay, so don't worry, we'll come back to that. A book that surprised me this year, This Summer Will Be Different by Carly Fortune. This was the first book that I ever read by this author. She writes summer perfect escapism romances. No one knows how to put you in a new place than this girl right here. I picked this up just because it really caught my eye in the store. I couldn't remember. I knew there was one of these books that people said gave Happy Place vibes, and I can't remember if this was the one, but that's part of the reason why I picked it up, because Happy Place by Emily Henry is one of my favorite reads. So I got this, read it, loved it, ate it up. We're following Lucy and Felix. Lucy is going to her best friend's summer house. Before she meets up with her friend, she goes out to eat, grabs a bite while she waits for other people to get there. She meets a local, they hook up, have a day, and then she finds out that that is her best friend's brother. So then obviously they're like, hey, let's just never do that again. You know, onwards and upwards from there. I really enjoyed this. This book found me at a good time. I read it at a perfect time. I was surprised by it though, because I hadn't heard great things about this author. Okay, favorite book couples from this year. Hayden and Alice from Great Big Beautiful Life. I love these two. This is by Emily Henry. What does he say? Alice is saying how she likes the world that he lives in, and then he says, you can have my world. You can have my world. I'll put the quote up here. Charlie and Alice from One Golden Summer. One of my favorite books this year. I loved them. Such good witty banter. Fun. Chemistry was there. There's a little bit of jealousy in there. So good together. I'm obsessed with them. I'm obsessed with that book. Lilith and Vale from Six Scorched Roses by Carissa Broadbent. This is a teeny tiny novella in the midst of her Crowns of Nyaxia series. This is a standalone novella. You do not have to read anything else from the series if you don't want to. Lilith lives in this small little teeny tiny town, and people are dying from this illness. People turn to dust. Her sister is one of the people who is going to turn to dust soon. Our girl Lilith, she is a researcher. She's trying to figure out, how do I cure this because I cannot lose my sister. She goes to Vale, the local town vampire, and asks to draw his blood because she believes there'll be something in there, the regenerative quality of it, to help cure this disease. Romance grows from there, and I just really loved them. I loved their dynamic, and then seeing them in the next book and like how protective he is of our girl Lilith, so I really enjoyed them. And then lastly, Aldo and Reagan from Alone with You in the Ether by Olivia Blake. I know miscommunication, some toxicity, I get it, but those two were willing to go to certain lengths to really understand the depth to the other person's mind, really understanding how they operate, and I just feel like that's what love is really understanding one another. They were so intrigued and interested in how each one thought, which is basically the premise of the book with these 6 conversations, is just getting to know each other. They get to know each other before they get to know each other in any other way. They get to know each other emotionally. Favorite main characters this year? Okay, I could say just about everybody. Okay, wait, no, I couldn't say that, but quite a few characters from Beartown, but a few that I just would like to point out is going to be Kira, Benji, Maya. Kira is Maya's mom. Kira, I think she's like the girl's girl, the mom. She would be the mother of the friend group that just all of your friends would be so excited to see and get to talk to. She's so strong, so powerful, so smart, such a good mom. She's been through so much. I just think to see where she was at with everything that she had gone through and the woman she still was, I just think she's an amazing main character. And I think because of that, Maya gets to be as amazing and strong and as smart and powerful as she is. Maya, everything she goes to, her strength, her resilience, so amazing. And then Benji, he's such a dynamic and such an emotionally deep character. There's so much depth there. It's very interesting to see why he's doing the things he does. There's a lot of things that he does that would seem awful, like not good, and then you get to understand why he did it. You're like, oh, I could never justify him doing that until you see the reason why, and you're like, never mind, it's justified. Now, do I love like all the friends he keeps and things with that? Absolutely not. I'm very excited to see where his character goes. New author, 3 people I'm going to point out. They all ended up in my top 5 reads of 2025. Olivia Blake, Frederick Bachman, Carly Fortune. I cannot wait to read more books by them. Author that didn't work out for me, but it's Riley Sager, Final Girls. That is a thriller. Riley Sager writes mysteries and thrillers. This female main character who is a final girl, she survived a mass massacre incident, a mass killing incident, and she's the final girl to survive. There are 2 other women who are part of this group, and they kind of have a connection, a bond. The viewers, the people, have a fascination with it, so they're always want to see them in interviews. Just the way this author writes, I didn't really like it. It was weird. weird knowing the author's a male, and then like some of the way the sexual scenes were written. It just was weird, uncomfy, ick. So I don't know that I'll ever pick up another book by this author. Happiest book I read this year, Problematic Summer Romance by Ali Hazelwood. This book, I've said it before when I said I was recommending it. Hot Italian summer. This is fun. We're following Maya and Connor. These characters are connected to characters from Not in Love. We're actually going to their wedding, the characters from Not in Love. So there's so much like found family vibe to this. I love this romance. I love this setting. This book found me at a time that I needed to be found, and I cannot thank Miss Ali Hazelwood enough for this. I needed this. Saddest book I read. Have you seen any of my videos before? This answer is probably obvious. Alchemized by Senlin Yu. Emotional damage in 1,000 pages. Oh my gosh, I forgot to finish my favorite characters. I only talked about Beartown. Another one of my favorite characters this year was Helena. She didn't deserve the life she got. She didn't deserve anything before the war, during the war, or after the war. I would literally go to war for that girl. Helena, get behind me. And Lilith was another one that was one of my favorite female main characters, and I think for both of the same reasons, for their quiet resilience, but their quiet strength. They did so much work, so much research, so much healing behind the scenes. That was the reason that people got to live the lives they did. They made sacrifices that were reasons people got to live the lives they got to live. They are the women. They are the women. But yes, Alchemized was the saddest book I've ever read. Frustrating book, I don't own this and I don't remember the author's name, but it's Once You're Mine. This is a dark romance. Our female main character, her dad has just passed away, so she had all this money from him. Now she has to work for a living, God forbid, and we're following her on that journey. But she is also determined to find the killer of her father. And then we have another character who kills bad people, and he's also a lawyer. Our female main character, she just couldn't see anything that was right in front of her. Like, there were things that were obvious. She was making bad decisions. I didn't really like the book. It did keep me awake though for quite a long drive that I needed to be awake for, so I do thank the author and the book for that. Best book to movie to show adaptation. Okay, this year I've not read any. I've read books and I've watched, I don't watch a whole lot of TV. And that's not to be like, oh, I don't watch TV.
I don't watch TV. Like, no one cares.
It's not that. When you're watching TV, I'm probably watching YouTube. When you're watching TV, I'm probably reading a book. Those are just my forms of entertainment. That's my preferred method to occupy this brain of mine, this noggin. Books that I've read, I haven't watched the TV shows or movies. Like, I've read The Housemaid, I haven't seen the movie yet. Same thing, like TV shows, I maybe didn't know that there was a book or read a book. I binged. The only show I binged this year is Maxton Hall. It's like a boarding school. There's a romance, there's school drama, there's real life drama. It's fun, it's bingeable, it's edible. It was so fun to read, or so fun to watch. But it does have a book series, so I would say that's the best one I watched. But I don't know how well it like translated from book to screen. I just know I liked watching what was on the screen. I am gonna read the books in 2026, or maybe before the year's over. Favorite covers? Anything by Miss Carly Fortune. Okay. My favorite one, One Golden Summer, just fell back behind the bookshelf, so we won't use that. Here's some ideas of her covers. They kind of are always giving the same energy, but I love her covers. A book that I solely bought because of how gorgeous the cover was Fragile Sanctuary by Catherine Cowles, and all the books look like this. Stunning. My birthday last year, we did the Barnes & Noble challenge where my husband took me and gave me like not enough time to look around and browse around and then run around and pick every book up that I could pick up.
Hi, good morning.
Where are you going? So I'm just running around. Anything that catches my eye, I'm grabbing it. This caught my eye. I had no idea. I'd never heard of the series before. A book that I haven't stopped thinking about. It's probably just going to be my top 4 for the year, if we're being honest. One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune, Alchemized by Senlin Yu, Beartown by Frederick Bachman, Alone with You in the Ether by Olivia Blake. Those books, they're stuck up here and I can't get them out of my head. I can't get them out of my mind. All books I would like to reread at some point. I don't think I'll ever forget Helena and the imprint that she's left on my brain and my soul. I think the way Aldo and Reagan's minds operate is something that was just so unique and fascinating to me. I loved Charlie and Alice and their romance and the depth to them as well. And Beartown, oh my goodness, there's so many characters to just be thinking about. Unpopular book that I loved is gonna be, I only own one of these, but The Gods of the Games series by Anna Huang. There's The Strikers, the first one, and then The Defenders, the new one that came out this year. I didn't know this because I was not recommended recommended this book. The Striker, I read at the end of the year last year. I was looking for something just to binge, fun romance to binge on Kindle Unlimited. I open up my Kindle, I'm looking, I see Anna Huang new book, The Striker. Wow, interesting. I've never read any of her books and I would like to, but all of her books are big series, and The Striker was the start of a series, so it felt less intimidating to me. Picked up The Striker, ate it up, loved it. And then of course, when this was coming back, this was one of my anticipated releases for this year. I really enjoyed it. I mean, they're not like crazy 5-star reads for me, but they're like 4-star reads. I really enjoy them, really like them. And I've heard people don't like The Striker. I actually like The Striker better than The Defender. I don't think this book gets the hype it deserves, but maybe I just haven't found the group of people who love it as well. So, popular book that I didn't love. I'm not sure where this book is hidden at right now. The Inmate by Frida McFadden. When I was looking for this, I'm like, what books didn't I love first and foremost? What books didn't I like? Then I was going on Goodreads to see what their ratings were, how many people read them. A lot of people, like hundreds of thousands of people have read The Inmate. Hundreds of thousands of people have decided it's somewhere from like the 4 to 4.1 range. So I would say that's pretty popular, and I didn't like that book. We're following this female main character, I don't remember her name, but there was like this mass murder incident. She leaves town because of it. She leaves town and then her parents stay in the town, but then they get into this big accident. So because of that, she comes back. She accepts a job as a nurse practitioner at the maximum security prison. And then of course things get spooky and unravel from there. There's mystery. I just didn't like it. There was no reward in finding out all the things. It was boring. I didn't like the writing style. People love Frida McFadden. I just haven't found a book from her that was like really for me. I'm not a big thriller girl. Just might not be for me. And that's okay. Book you thought you'd love but didn't would be Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune, because I started off with this author hot. We read This Summer Will Be Different first. We read One Golden Summer afterwards, which is in my top 5 books this year. And then when I found out One Golden Summer, I'm like reading the acknowledgments afterwards, and I'm like, or the book questions afterwards, I'm like, what do you mean about Sam and Percy? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do I think about the incident with Charlie and Sam and Percy now that I've read this book? I don't know. I've never met Sam and Percy other than in this book. What book is theirs? Every Summer After. So then I pick up Every Summer After. That book was fine, but kind of mid. And then I was like, well, I only have one book left of hers. Might as well read it. So I picked up Meet Me at the Lake. I didn't like this book. Down there with The Inmate, one of my least favorite reads from this year. Most unique concept. These might not necessarily be unique concepts, but they were unique to me this year. First and foremost, the magic system in Alchemized. It might not be unique, but I've never read a book about alchemy before. It was very complex. It was very intricate, and that was unique to me. Books I would reread. A lot of books that I read this year. Again, like my whole top 5, I'd reread all those books, but I think priority rereads for me is One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune and Problematic Summer Romance by Ali Hazelwood. Those are just like, they're just sunshine in a book. Sunshine in a book, that's all I can say. I think to like just feel that joy, like the same way I feel that joy with Happy Place, I think those books have kind of pushed themselves up to that category for me. Priority reads next year. I'm reading Crooked Kingdom this year by Leigh Bardugo. I read Six of Crows in 2024. Babes, it's about to be 2026. I haven't read the second one. I think when I got into BookTube and like watching book creators, I was like, oh, people will read a book from a series, put the series down, and then like read some fun books and then come back to this series. So I'll read this book, but then I'll read some romance books and then I'll come back to it. I don't know if that's me. I don't know if that's me, if I'm that girly. I think I should probably read series altogether. It's not that I didn't like Six of Crows. I just kind of forgot, like, I got a second book I gotta read. 2 others we're still in fantasy, and we're still in books I've owned for a little bit, because I kind of was reading fantasy and then I was so excited about it. I bought some books and then I kind of dipped out of it and went more romance and general literary fiction. Bone Shard Kingdom, that's by Andrea Stewart. It's like a 4 or 5 book series, fantasy book series. I don't know too much about it, but it just like really caught my eye when I had originally found it. Also Darker Shades of Magic by V.E. Schwab. V.E. Schwab has been in my top 10 books for the last 2 years back to back. So let's give her another year. Goodreads goal reflection. 2 years in a row, I have made my Goodreads goal 50 books. 2 years in a row, I have achieved that. It was easier for me to do this year than it was the previous year. I have like this firm belief in this concept because I've seen it happen before in different ways. The easiest thing I can compare it to is anytime I'm in a workout. You're gonna do your like I'm doing 4 sets by 8 to 12 reps. If I hit that first set and I only get to 8, I will not get higher than 8 reps. Even if I can do them, I won't get higher than 8 reps in my next 3 sets. So when I like give myself this number, I know what I can achieve and I'm allowing myself to achieve it. But sometimes if I don't put the number where it should be, I'm underserving myself or like underguesstimating myself. And like I've seen it with my mood boards, what I can accomplish when I've decided that something's gonna happen, when I put it on a board, when I put it out into the universe, when I've told people that I love, like that this is what I'm gonna be doing, I've seen the results from that. So we're gonna get a little bit crazy with our 2026 reading goal. I could play it safe and go 60. I could do that, but I think I want to play it not safe and go 75. And if I don't hit it, that won't be the end of the world for me, because I'll be able to see how far saying 75 allowed me to get, and that will let me adjust what my goal is going to be for the following year. I think if I played it safe at 60, I would read 60 and I wouldn't get more than that. And then I think if I would do 75, I could fall somewhere in between 60 to 75. So I'm gonna put it out there into the universe. I'm gonna just say it out loud. 75 books for 2026. I don't think that the number of books you read in a year matters, as long as you're having fun, as long as your hobby is still hobbying. I always feel like I'm just trying to catch up with the books that are being released, trying to play catch up and read all these series and these books that I've wanted to read. Books I wish I got to this year. I wish I finished The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I started that book. I was really enjoying it, but life got hard and it was too much brain work for my mind at the time of what was going on in like actual life. So I put it down, and then it was just like I read 50% of it. But I'm at a point where it's been so long I should just reread the whole thing, but I'm like, I read half of it. My eyes feel so heavy. Priorities for my 2026 reading year is just diversifying the books that I'm reading and reading books that I enjoy and I love. Sometimes I pick up a book just because it was popular. I know it's going to be an easy, fun read, and not that those are not good things, and I think they still need to be kept in there, but the books that I rate and love the highest are general literary fiction and then like fantasy. So I would like to kind of stick to genres and stick to books that I think are going to be rated highly and have a really good reading year, as opposed to just picking up books because everybody's picking them up. Now, I love a bandwagon. I'm going to always hop on the bandwagon, but I just would like to prioritize reading books that I know I want to read and I know are going to be mind-altering, life-changing, and then just having fun, judgment-free zone. Oh, I think maybe like reading one classic a year is a good goal too, so maybe I'll read a classic. The next classic I kind of want to read is Jane Eyre. The last one I would have read was Anna Karenina, was the last, by Leo Tolstoy, was the last classic that I read. Goals for book content in 2026 is just to keep on keeping on. I think most importantly, just creating a space where I can continue to make videos and talk about books, which I love doing both. I love editing, creating a good little corner of the internet here. I would like to see myself posting 1 to 2 long form videos on YouTube per week, with 3 to 6 short form videos on YouTube per week. Also just getting organized with it and scheduling out. That is my end of year book tag. Thanks for making it to the end. If you've made it here, comment what your reading goals are for the 2026 year. What are some books you absolutely have to read? Happy Bookmas, happy end of Bookmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas Eve. Give your mom an extra hug for me this holiday season, and enjoy your family and be with your family as much as you can this season, this holiday season. I am going to be posting probably one more book video for this year, and then I will see you in the next year.